As you may have noticed, it's been a few weeks since we posted a video. I had COVID for almost 2 weeks, and Zapiel went on a little mini trip to help clear his head.
Yeah, needed it.
We already have a few builds in the works, so expect videos to come out every Monday again. Don't worry, we didn't forget about you and the Goblin Raiding Party. Here for your enjoyment is the Battle Brother. Hi everyone, and welcome to a loyal episode of
The Dungeon Crashers.
I'm Guy.
And I'm Zapiel. Before we get started, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our exciting D&D content. This will be the last member of the Goblin Raiding Party, and we will be building the Chief's Son's Battle Brother. For the race, we went Hobgoblin from the Monsters of the Multiverse. He is humanoid or goblinoid for any prerequisite for effects that require him to be goblinoid. He is medium sized with a walking speed of 30 feet. He has dark vision out to 60 feet, and he gets Fey ancestry, giving him advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the charm condition on himself. He gets Fey gift. He can use this trait to take the help action as a bonus action. He can do so a number of times equal to his proficiency bonus. He regains all expended uses when he finishes a long rest. Starting at 3rd level, there's 3 options he can choose from when he takes the help action. Hospitality. He and the creature he helps gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus his proficiency bonus. Second is Passage. He and the creature he helps each increase their walking speed by 10 feet until the start of his next turn. And Spite. Until the start of his next turn, the first time the creature he helps hits a target with an attack roll, that target has disadvantage on its next attack roll it makes within the next minute. He also gets Fortune of the Many. If he misses an attack roll or fail an ability check or a saving throw, he can draw on his bonds of reciprocity to gain a bonus to the roll equal to the number of his allies he can see within 30 feet of him with a maximum of bonus of +3. He can use this trait a number of times equal to his proficiency bonus, and he regains all expended uses when he finishes a long rest. For languages, he gets Common and one other language of his choice, so we take Goblin. Hobgoblins from the Monsters of the Multiverse get 3+1 ability boost he can put anywhere he wants, but no more than 2 on the same ability. We use the point buy system, and to start we put a 14 on strength, making it 16 with +2 from the racial bonus. He is very strong, and he needs to be able to protect the Chief's son. He puts a 10 on dexterity. He will be wearing heavy armor, but we didn't want a negative here for his dex saves. He puts a 14 on Constitution. He will be boosting his Constitution up later for more hit points, and he has a lot of spells that require concentration, so this will help with that. He puts an 8 on Intelligence. He doesn't need to be very smart when listening to orders. He puts a 10 on Wisdom. He will have a few Wisdom-based skills, so we didn't want a negative modifier here. Last, we put a 15 on Charisma, making it 16 with the last racial bonus. This will be his casting stat for both his Paladin and Bard level, so it needs to be high. He was born into a minor noble family of the tribe, destined to be a member of the tribe's fighting force like his father before him. As he grew up, he was bigger and stronger than the other boys in the tribe. One day a ceremony was held to select the chieftain's son's battle brother. It would be a great honor for him and his family if he was selected. He would always be at the future chief's side as an advisor, bodyguard, and shield if he needs to sacrifice his own life for the future chief to survive. The ceremony was tough, but in the end he was the winner, and it was announced that he would be the future chief's battle brother. We will be making a custom background for this character and calling it the Battle Brother background. It gives 2 skills, Athletics and Intimidation, and the main feature of this background is called Fight as One. Due to their intense training together, they can fight as one in battle. Choose one person you have trained with for at least 6 months, and when they make an initiative roll, they both take the highest one out of the 2. If his battle brother dies, he may train with another person after 6 months. That person becomes his new battle brother. At 1st level, he takes 1st level of Paladin. He is proficient with all armor and shields, all simple and martial weapons, as well as wisdom and charisma saves. He gets 2 skills from the Paladin list, and he takes Persuasion and Intimidation. He gets Divine Sense. He can use his action to know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of him that isn't behind total cover. He will know the type of the creature, but not its identity. Within the same radius, he can also detect an object or place that has been consecrated or desecrated. He can use this feature a number of times equal to 1 plus his charisma modifier, and when he finishes a long rest, he regains all expended uses. He also gets Lay on Hands. It is a pool of hit points equal to 5 times his Paladin level, and as an action he can touch a creature and restore a number of hit points to that creature equal to the maximum that he has left in that pool. Alternately, he can expend 5 hit points from the pool of healing to cure the target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it. He can cure multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons with a single use of Lay on Hands, expending his hit points separately for each one. This feature has no effect on undead or constructs, and the pool replenishes when he finishes a long rest. At second level, he takes second level of Paladin. He gets a fighting style, and he takes dueling. When wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapon, he gets a +2 on damage with that melee weapon. He also gets Divine Smite. He can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target in addition to the weapon's damage. The extra damage is 2d8 for a first level spell slot plus 1d8 for each spell slot higher than first, to a maximum of 5d8. The damage increases by 1d8 if the target is undead or a fiend, to a maximum of 68. At second level, Paladins get spellcasting. They are prepared casters and can prepare a number of spells equal to their charisma modifier plus half their Paladin levels, so 4 to start. And he gets 2 first level spell slots. For his prepared spells, he takes Bless, Detect Magic, and Shield of Faith, and Thunderous Smite. His spell save DC is 8 plus his proficiency and charisma modifiers.
Many years had passed since his selection as the Battle Brother. One day, a group of humans showed up wanting to speak to the chief about taking refuge deeper in the Caves of Chaos. Our hero didn't like the idea of trusting humans and told the chief's son they should be wary of them. The chief's son assured our hero that everything would be fine since the hill giants were also involved and they would be plundering the nearby humans' town. Our hero agreed it was a good opportunity to expand their realm and take as many resources as they could. One day during training, the alarm horn sounded. A group of demon women was attacking the tribe. Our hero rushed to the front lines, ready to repel the invaders, as the women and children escaped deeper in the caves. He found the chief's son there and took up a defensive position beside him. We need to draw them deeper into the caves so we can set up ambushes to catch them off guard. Our hero nodded and started giving orders to the others to withdraw. They made it back to the first ambush point, but the demon women did not follow. They had taken another path towards the humans that had settled there a few months before. After some time, our hero went to check on the situation in the tribe's village. Not much was damaged. From the looks of it, the demon women were only after the humans and didn't seem to bother going after the tribe. It seemed to be a favorable outcome. The people took few losses and the enemy was gone, but the chief was displeased. The humans, he said, had an artifact of great power and the demon women stole it. The chief told his son to assemble a warband to steal the artifact back while the chief led a raid against the human town as a distraction. At third level, he takes third level of Paladin. He gets Divine Health, making him immune to disease. He also gets a Sacred Oath, and he takes Oath of the Crown. He gets Oath spells as he levels up in Paladin. At this level, he gets Command and Compelled Duel. He always has them prepared, and they don't count against the number of spells he can prepare. And he gets Channel Divinity with 2 options. The first is Champion's Challenge. As a bonus action, he issues a challenge that compels other creatures to do battle with him. Each creature of his choice that he can see within 30 feet of him must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from him. This effect ends on the creature if he's incapacitated or dies, or if the creature is more than 30 feet away from him. He also can do Turn the Tide. As a bonus action, he can bolster injured creatures with his Channel Divinity. Each creature of his choice that can hear him within 30 feet regains hit points equal to 1d6 plus his charisma modifier with a minimum of 1, if it has no more than half of its hit points. He must finish a short or long rest before he can use his Channel Divinity again, and he also gets another first level spell slot. The warband consisted of the chief's son, our hero, a friend of our hero, a goblin hermit said to be a mystic, a healer, and a shapeshifter, a goblin spider rider who is known both for his stealth and skill with a bow. The tribe's wise women were against the raid, saying it was too reckless, but the chief had his heart set on getting the artifact back no matter the cost. The wise women gave in, but insisted that one of them would accompany the warband. Our hero knew her right away. She was the first woman to have the mark of the Almercat, and she would be a great addition to the warband. The raid went off without a hitch. Using the chief's attack as cover, it was a simple matter for the warband to invade the town, locate where the tieflings were staying, and liberate the artifact, along with as much loot as they could grab. At 4th level, he takes 4th level of Paladin, getting an ability booster of feet, and he is going to use it to boost his strength to 18. He wants to do more damage to help destroy his enemies. He can also prepare another first level spell, so he takes Cure Wounds just in case he starts running low on hit points. But we all know he'll be using most of his spell slots for smites.
Yeah. After retrieving the artifact, the chief's son decides that they would head for the hill giant Steading immediately and tells the wise woman to send her familiar to his father, letting him know of their plans. The road to the hill giant Steading was dangerous. They fought many foes, but the most dangerous was an ogre marauder and his band of orcs. The fight was fierce. Our hero and the chief's son took on the ogre, while the rest of the warband fought off the orcs. Our hero landed a few hits and used his divine power to smite the evil ogre, while the chief's son summoned a shadow to fight alongside them. The spider rider fired a volley of poisoned arrows at the orcs, while the hermit's shape changed into a black panther, and the wise woman wielded her sword and spells to lead the charge into the orcs. After the battle was over, they gathered what loot they could find, healed the major wounds, and continued on to the hill giant Steading. At 5th level, he takes 5th level of Paladin, getting extra attack, allowing him to attack twice instead of one when he takes the attack action. From his Oath spells, he gets Warding Bond and Zone of Truth, as well as another 1st level spell slot and 2 2nd level spell slots. At 6th level, he takes 1st level of Bard. He gets 1 skill from the Bard list, and he takes Deception. He gets Bardic Inspiration. He can use a bonus action on his turn to choose one creature other than himself within 60 feet of him who can hear him. That creature gains 1 Bardic Inspiration die, a d6 for now. Once within the next 10 minutes, the creature can roll the die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes. The creature can wait until the roll of the d20 before deciding to use the Bardic Inspiration die, but must decide before the DM says whether the roll succeeds or fails. Once the Bardic Inspiration die is rolled, it is lost. A creature can only have 1 Bardic Inspiration die at a time. He can use this feature a number of times equal to his Charisma modifier with a minimum of 1, and he regains all expended uses when he finishes a long rest. For spells, bards get spells known, so he will have to keep a separate spell list from his Paladin spell list. He gets 2 cantrips known and 4 spells known. For the cantrips, he takes Mage Hand and Vicious Mockery. For his spells known, he takes Charm Person, Healing Word, Silvery Barbs, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Once they arrived at the hill giant Steading, our hero was on guard. They received little hospitality from the chief, and even was threatened to turn them into servants. Our hero told the chief's son they shouldn't spend any more time than they needed to, and they should give the artifact to the hill giant chief and be done with it. However, the hill giant chief had little interest in the artifact, saying he only wanted to raid the villages, and the artifact was something the humans had planned. The wise woman said the hill giant chief's wife told them that the frost giant Jarl would be more interested in the artifact, and they would receive a better welcome there. The chief's son said it was too dangerous to travel north this time of year, so they were going to wait for now. At 7th level, he takes 2nd level of Bard. He gets Jack of all trades. He can add half his proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check he makes that doesn't already include his proficiency bonus. He also gets Song of Rest. If he or any friendly creatures who can hear his performance regain hit points at the end of a short rest by spending 1 or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 hit points. For spells, he gets another spell known that can be a 1st level and another 2nd level spell slot. For the spell known, he takes Thunder Wave. At 8th level, he takes 3rd level of Bard. He can expertise 2 skill he has, and he picks Intimidation and Perception. He gets his Bardic College, and he takes College of Eloquence. He gets 2 abilities. The first is Unsettling Words. As a bonus action, he can expend 1 use of his Bardic Inspiration and choose 1 creature he can see within 60 feet of him. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die, and the creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before it starts its next turn. The second is Silver Tongue. When he makes a Persuasion or Deception check, he can treat a roll on a d20 of a 9 or lower as a 10. For spells, he gets another spell known that can be of 2nd level and 2 3rd level spell slots. For the spell known, he takes Hold Person. At 9th level, he takes 4th level of Bard, getting an ability booster feat, and he's going to use it to boost his Charisma to 18. This will help with his spell save DC and spell damage. From Bard, he gets another cantrip known, another spell known of 2nd level, and another 3rd level spell slot. For the cantrip, he takes Minor Illusion, and for the spell known, he takes Cloud of Daggers. Since his Charisma did increase, he can also prepare another 2nd level Paladin spell, so he takes Lesser Restoration.
One night, the spider rider alerts them to the demon women attacking the Steading. The chief's son said this was their chance to leave the steading, since they didn't owe the hill giant's chief any loyalty, but our hero and the rest of the warband had another idea. They had been stealing supplies from the hill giants, and they were ready to make the trip north to the frost giants. The chief's son smiled at how well his warband was working together, so he made the decision to travel north to the frost giants. At 10th level, he takes 6th level of Paladin. He gets Aura Protection. Whenever he or a friendly creature within 10 feet of him must make a saving throw, the creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to his Charisma modifier, with a minimum bonus of +1. He must be conscious to grant this bonus. For spells, he can prepare another spell of 2nd level, and he gets 1 4th level spell slot. For the prepared spell, he takes Branding Smite. At 11th level, he takes 7th level of Paladin. From Oath of the Crown, he gets Divine Allegiance. When a creature within 5 feet of him takes damage, he can use his reaction to magically substitute his own health for that of the target creature, causing that creature not to take the damage. Instead, he takes the damage. The damage to him can't be reduced or prevented in any way. At 12th level, he takes 8th level Paladin, getting an ability booster feat, and he's going to use it to boost his Constitution to 16, for the extra hit points and to help with concentration checks if he needs to make them. For spells, he can prepare another spell of 2nd level, and he gets another 4th level spell slot. For the prepared spell, he takes Find Steed. At 13th level, he takes 5th level of Bard. His Bardic Inspiration dice improves to a D8. He gets Font of Inspiration. He regains all of his expended uses of Bardic Inspiration when he finishes a short or long rest. For spells, he gets another spell known that can be of 3rd level, another 4th level spell slot, and 1 5th level spell slot. For the spell known, he takes Fear. At 14th level, he takes 6th level Bard. From the College of Eloquence, he gets Universal Speech. As an action, he chooses one or more creatures within 60 feet of him up to a number equal to his Charisma modifier, and a minimum of 1 creature. The chosen creature can magically understand him, regardless of the language he speaks, for 1 hour. Once he uses this feature, he can't use it again until he finishes a long rest, or he expends a spell slot to use it again. He also gets Counter Charm. As an action, he can start a performance that lasts until the end of his next turn. During that time, he and any friendly creatures within 30 feet of him have advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed. A creature must be able to hear him to gain the benefit. The performance ends early if he is incapacitated or silenced, or if he voluntarily ends it, no action required. For spells, he gets another spell known of 3rd level and another 5th level spell slot. For the spell known, he takes Dispel Magic. There weren't any major incidents on the trek to the Frost Giants, just a group of bandits that didn't have anything of value and a few beasts, but the beasts did make for some good eating. They received a much warmer welcome than they had with the Hill Giants. The Frost Giant Jarl knew our hero's chief and welcomed them as visiting nobles. The Jarl paid them well for the artifact and told them of his plans. He was working with the Fire Giants and other allies to invade the human kingdom, taking loot and territory. He encourages the chief's son to enlist his father and the clan to join this war, and our hero thinks this is a good idea. Our hero speaks up and warns the Jarl that some demon women are after the artifact, and he should be ready just in case the Hill Giants couldn't stop them. They spent several weeks in the Jarl's home before the demon women struck. It seems they survived attacking the Hill Giants' steading and had pursued them. Our hero wanted to stay and fight, since this would be the best odds in taking down these demon women. The chief's son said that this was not their fight, since they had delivered the artifact and they needed to return home to prepare for the war yet to come. They told the Jarl their plans, and the Jarl agreed that they didn't know him their swords in battle and was confident he could handle these intruders, but he asked for their help in another matter. He needed the artifact delivered to the Fire Giant King. Since he would be delayed fighting the intruders, he offered the band a reward if they agreed to carry the artifact to the Fire Giants, and he would send them to the volcano where the Fire Giants dwell through a magical portal. Finding the reward tempting and wanting to get far away from the demon women, the chief's son agrees, and they pass through the portal. At 15th level, he takes 7th level Bard. All he gets at this level is another spell known that can be of 4th level now, and a 6th level spell slot. He needs a good range attack spell, so he takes Ralithim's Psychic Lance. At 16th level, he takes 8th level Bard, getting an ability booster feat, and he's going to use it to cap his strength at 20. He needs to do as much damage with his melee attacks as able to protect the chief's son. For spells, he gets another spell known of 4th level, so he takes Dimension Door. At 17th level, he takes 9th level Bard. His Song of Rest improves to D8s. He gets another spell known that can be a 5th level, and a 7th level spell slot. For a spell known, he takes Synaptic Static.
The Fire Giant King greeted them with as much hospitality as the Frost Giants, and they were happy to see the artifact in one piece. The Fire Giant King told the warband that he was allied with the Dark Elves, and they would join the attack on the human kingdoms if they helped with their elven enemies. The Fire Giant King made them an offer they couldn't refuse. He would give them magic weapons if they would take the artifact to a certain drow matron in the Underdark. Our hero thought this was a good idea, not only to get some magic weapons, but to put further distance between them and the demon women if they managed to get past the Frost Giants. The chief's son agreed to the deal, and they were to take a passage located under the Fire Giant's hall that led to the Underdark. At 18th level, he takes 10th level of Bard. His Bardic Inspiration dice improved to D10s, and he can expertise 2 more skills that he hasn't already, and he picks Deception and Insight. He also gets Magical Secrets. He chooses 2 spells from any class, including this one. The spell he chooses must be a level he can cast, or a cantrip. The chosen spells count as Bard spells for him and are included in the number of spells known. For the first spell he takes is Holy Weapon from the Cleric list. It adds 2d8 radiant damage to the weapon, and it makes the weapon magical if it wasn't already. Also, as a bonus action on his turn, he can dismiss the spell and cause the weapon to emit a burst of radiance. Each creature of his choice that he can see within 30 feet of the weapon must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 4d8 radiant damage, and it is blinded for 1 minute. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and isn't blinded. And at the end of each of its turns, a blinded creature can make another Constitution saving throw, ending the effect on itself on its success. For the second spell, he takes Immolation from the Sorcerer list. One target within range must make a Dexterity saving throw. It takes 7d6 fire damage on a failed save and half as much on a successful one. On a failed save, the target also burns for the spell's duration of 1 minute. The burning target sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light in an additional 30 feet. At the end of each of its turns, the target repeats the saving throw. It takes 3d6 fire damage on a failed save, and the spell ends on a successful save. He also gets another cantrip known, so he takes Thunderclap. Down the long dark passage they went. They encountered many unusual races that our hero had never seen before. The worst was a nest of Illithids. They would overpower their prey with mind-affecting spells that would leave them helpless as the Illithids extracted and consumed the victim's brains. The battle was glorious. It would be a fight that anyone would be proud to say they walked away from. By this time in the adventure, the warband had been in several fights and worked together like a well-oiled machine. Our hero and the chief's son worked in harmony, dispatching one attacker after another, all the while not allowing any opening in their defenses. The wise woman and the hermit cast spells to buff each other before shape-changing and charging into the fray. The spider rider fired arrows down on the enemy that you would think 5 or more archers were on their side. After the battle, they took a long rest to recover and heal from the hellish fight. At 19th level, he takes 11th level of Bard. All he gets at this level is another spell known that could be of 6th level now, and an 8th level spell slot. For the spell known, he takes Hero's Feast. The feast lasts for 1 hour to consume and disappears at the end of that time, and the beneficial effects don't set until this hour is over. Up to 12 creatures can take part in the feast, and a creature that partakes in the feast gains several benefits. The creature is cured of all disease and poison, becomes immune to poison and being frightened, and makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Its hit point maximum also increases by 2d10 and gains the same number of hit points. These benefits last for 24 hours. This will be a great way to start the day to help with the party. When they reached the Drow city, they received a warm welcome from the Drow matron, or you could say the wise woman in the warband did. The Drow matron wanted nothing to do with the men in the warband, and our hero was upset with the lack of respect she was giving the chief's son. The hermit took our hero aside and said, "That's just how the Drow matron are. Men are nothing more than servants here, so we should just get our reward for the artifact and go." Only the spider rider got some attention from the Drow males since he had a spider companion and they wanted to know where they could get one of their own. It had only been a few days since their arrival that the alarm sounded. The wise woman rushed to the warband holding the artifact, saying that the Fire Giant King had been slain by the demon women, and they were now here attacking the Drow matron. Fighting seemed like the only option for our hero, and he would gladly give his life in order to save the chief's son. The wise woman suddenly remembered that the drow matron spoke of a portal in her shrine that would take them to the abyssal home of the demon queen Lolth. Our hero was against the idea and would rather stay and fight, but the chief's son decided that the demon queen would want the artifact, and it was their job to see it gets to her. Plus, if it all worked out, he was sure the demon queen had a way to send them home, or at least a way to finally finish off these demon women that have been pursuing them from the beginning. At 20th level, he takes 12th level of Bard, getting his last ability booster feat, and he's going to use it to cap his charisma at 20. He wants his spell attack and his spell save DCs to be the best they can be. Since he boosted his charisma, he can prepare another paladin spell of 2nd level, and he takes Prayer of Healing for a good out-of-combat healing spell.
This is the ultimate team player. His abilities focus on aiding and protecting his allies, particularly his battle brother. His natural talents as a hobgoblin and the abilities from Paladin and Bard all work towards this, and the subclasses take this even further. Even his spell selection is focused on support, although he didn't neglect damaging options either. This reminds me a lot of Sam Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. He's the real hero, but doesn't want the praise or glory. He only wants to help his friend. Our goal with this build was to create the best advisor and companion possible, and we think we succeeded. He's a strong ally in battle, has many skills, especially because of jack of all trades. He excels in social situations, being able to both advise his leader and negotiate on his leader's behalf. And his bardic inspiration and paladin auras are there to bolster all of his allies. We hope you enjoyed this character and would like to play it in your game. If so, tell us about it in the comments below, along with any questions, suggestions, or build ideas. And join us next week when we begin making characters using the new feats and backgrounds from Dragonlance Shadows of the Dragon Queen. Until then,
Cheers.